Hi, this is Shane Starr, and today I'm doing a video that's been on my mind for quite a while, but I haven't gotten around to doing it because I just want to do it right. And I think the time for waiting is over. I'd rather just get on with it. Um, we're talking about impossible correlations between MBTI and Enneagram. And I have a little cheat sheet list I made up just with some, basic functions. I figured instead of going by types over to Enneagram, I would go from Enneagram to types. And then when I did that, there's a lot of gray area. I mean, there are some that are definitely white, as in you can do it, and there are some blacks, meaning you can't do it. But unfortunately, there's a lot of gray area. Correlations that are unlikely but not necessarily impossible. Now, if you're one of the people who thinks anyone can be anything, then this isn't the right video for you. And you may be able to add or maybe subtract a couple of things I put in here. But without further delay, let's just get started. So we're going to go straight down the list, Enneagrams 1 through 9. And I take it that anyone watching this probably already knows the types. So I won't be necessarily giving you anything you don't already know, but we'll be looking at things in perhaps a different way. So let's start with Enneagram 1. What are some hallmarks of Enneagram 1? I would say it's being responsible, being sort of grounded, knowing what you stand for, seeking the good, the true. I would add the beautiful in that too. I think Enneagram 1s are focused on quality. No matter what area of it is in your life, you want to have systems in place that will help you do the best at whatever it is, whether it's work or relationship or housekeeping, money, whatever it is. You don't want to be wasteful. You don't want to be frivolous. You want to take things seriously and do a good job at whatever it is you set your mind to. So I would say in each of these cases, I'm going to go with 3 cognitive functions, which basically equals 6 types that you can knock right off the list if you know yourself to be an Enneagram particular number. And with 1s, I would say right at the top of the list are our NE types, ENFP and ENTP. Why? Because these types are all about possibilities, innovations, doing things differently, think out of the box. That is all opposite of the Enneagram 1's need for structure, organization, and routine. So if you are an Enneagram 1, you are most definitely not an NE, extroverted intuition leading type. Next, close behind, I would put SE. That's our ESTPs and ESFPs. If you're one of these types, it doesn't go with Enneagram 1. Why? Because these types are all about spontaneity, being, risk-taking, thrill-seeking, making a big impact. Enneagram 1s don't care about that. They want to be grounded, sensible, do the right thing, not the most fun or the quickest thing. And I think both NE and SE types are not very likely to be Enneagram 1. So those are 4 types you can cross off the chart if you're looking for your MBTI type based on your Enneagram type. Last but not least, in all these cases, my final choice here will be something that might be challengeable. I'm going to say TI, your lead introverted thinking types. I would say that Enneagram 1s don't really go with this type, this cognitive function, because lead TIs are very analytical. Enneagram 1's a body type. You have like an impression of a situation that gives you a sort of moral sense of something's right or wrong. I would say TI lead types are more detached than that. They're not as involved. They'll see something maybe as right or wrong, but see it from a distance. They're not really interested in doing, necessarily the quick, efficient thing, but not necessarily the morally right or wrong thing either. They see things in terms of how does this fit into the greater whole. And that doesn't really jive with the Enneagram one's black and white thinking, like this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. TIs can see all around the myriad of possibilities. And while I don't think it's absolutely positively impossible, I'd say it's pretty much the case. If you are an INTP or an ISTP, you're too open-minded to be a stubborn Enneagram 1. Okay, so any SE and TI, you're not a 1. Okay, moving on. Enneagram 2. These types are characterized by their pride, but also they genuinely do give to others, and they make other people happy with their gifts, and they contribute to groups that they're a part of, whether it's at work or home, hobbies, whatever it is. Twos are great contributors, not just to the mood, but in a material sense as well. I would say TE types do not go with Enneagram 2. And I would say even high TE types, not necessarily only the leads, but if you have TE in second, like your INTJs or ISTJs, I don't see you being a 2. Now, you might be a 1 wing 2, but you're not going to be an Enneagram 2 if you are a TE lead or high TE user. Why? Because TE is about efficiency. Another majestic INFJ said that TE types treat people like machines. FE types treat machines like people. And I'm always going to remember that. It's a great saying. If you're TE and you treat people like machines, you're not an Enneagram 2. Just done. Solved. Next, I would say SE. SE types, if you are an ESFP or an ESTP, or even a high SE user like an ISTP or ISFP, you're probably not going to be an Enneagram 2. Now, some people might say, well, you could be an ISFP and an Enneagram 2. I would still say no. Even though they can be nice and kind of artistic, there's still a little bit of a performer selfishness vibe to them. They're not going to be 2. So why? Because SEs are more spontaneous, about fun. It's sort of a selfish function, I think. It's just about experiencing life to the fullest, not giving that experience to others in the fullest sense of the word. And last but not least, for Enneagram 2, I would say TI lead users. They see things too analytically to really care about giving to other people. So if you're an Enneagram 2, you're not TE, you're not SE, and you're not TI. Those 3 don't go with Enneagram 2. All right, next, Enneagram 3. For Enneagram 3s, I would say introverted, intuitive types are not 3s. And I know, I think this is partly because of the INFJ phenomenon, but I think every single Enneagram type has been claimed by an INFJ at one time or another. I'm sorry, I don't think you're as unique or different as the masses say. And I think all 16 types are equally popular, equally relevant, and equally common. I don't think there's any one like 1% or 2% type. I think that's fake. I'm sorry, that's just my take. So if you're an Enneagram 3, you care about achievement, you care about making a social impact, you care about impressing other people, you care about looking good and letting the world know you're here, This is a very extroverted type. And I would say, really, if you know you're an introvert, then right there you can cross half the types off the board if you're Enneagram 3, because um, I think you have to basically be an extrovert to be an Enneagram 3. And the three highest functions that I would say cross you off would be introverted intuition, because Enneagram 3 is about the outer world, making a social impact, looking good. All those are surface, shallow type of things, money, status, all that kind of stuff. The least types that would care about that would be the lead introverted intuition type. So NI, you're not Enneagram 3, even if you think you are. Next, I would say TI. TIs aren't about social. They're not about making a social impact. In fact, some of them have the greatest ideas and they fail to materialize because of their lack of social awareness or effort in that area. So if you're a TI lead, you're not an Enneagram 3 either. I would say high using TI also. And last but not least, SI. I have seen so many people, claim Enneagram 3 with ISTJs, for instance, and that's a topic I know something about. Two that come to mind, Jeff Bezos would be one, and Derek Jeter, former baseball player of the Yankees. They both are typed as ISTJs and both typed as Enneagram 3s. Funny enough, so is Kim Kardashian. She's always typed as an ISTJ, even though I see her as an ESFP. A lot of you guys probably do too. But they type her as an Enneagram 3 ISTJ. I think all of these are mistypes. I don't think when you're a lead SI, you might be fashionable. I think I'm lead SI and I like my fashion, but it's for me. It's not to make an impression. This looks weird to a lot of people. I don't care. I don't care if I look weird. I don't care that everyone at work tells me not to wear a tie. I want to wear one anyway. Not to impress anyone. On the contrary, it's making me look weird instead of impressive, but I still do it. But I think at the surface level, when people see that you care about aesthetics or you care about having things a certain way, like a lot of lead SIs are very particular with their tastes, whether it's food, fashion, or fun. I think people mistake that for Enneagram 3, like, oh, you're doing this to play a role, or you're doing this to have an image, and it's not true. We always say, the Enneagram is about not what shows on the outside, it's about your inner motivations. Well, if you're lead SI, what you have on the outside, I'm not wearing a teal shirt because I'm an Eagles fan or because I think you're going to think it's cool. I wear it because it resonates with a certain feeling I have, a certain impression that makes me feel at peace today. And tomorrow it'll be a different color. That's very different than doing something to impress others. So I would say SI can be mistaken for Enneagram 3, but I think at the end of the day, the motivations there are very different. So in sum, NI, TI, SI, and really any introverted function lead will cross off Enneagram 3 as a possibility. Moving on. Enneagram 4, I would say that right off the bat, Enneagram 4s are artistic, they're melancholic, they have deep feelings. So what's that going to do? That's going to necessarily, the inner feeling world is most opposite of the outer thinking world and the outer doing world. So that leads us SE and TE, not Enneagram 4. I don't think too many people would argue with that. Some people might try to make a case for like sexual 4 as a SE lead. No, you're probably an 8. So, 4s are about their deeper, innermost thoughts and motivations and feeling of not belonging. SE and TE both don't have time for that. SE wants to experience, TE wants to do and accomplish. You don't have time for that kind of deep existential reflection on an ongoing basis. Now, all of us have had those moments. All of us have had those periods in our lives, but from start to end on a consistent basis, SEs and TEs aren't going to be there. I am going to make a hot take. I'm going to say FE leads also do not go with Enneagram 4. And that's because even if they're nice, even if they're giving, even if we can relate, Enneagram 4 is a very selfish type. Not necessarily in all the negative sense of the word, but it's self-absorbed, self-concerned. FE is about making an impression on others, the crowd, the other people. That's not what Enneagram 4 is about. So the three non-correlations for 4 are SE, TE, and FE. Okay? I could probably throw a few more in there. I don't know of any TI Enneagram 4s, but I'm trying to keep it to 3 per number. So let's move on. Enneagram 5. This is all about knowledge is power, learning. Knowledge will protect you, keep you safe. You value knowing. You value science. What are I think the hallmark, in the same way I said, if you are an introvert, you're not an Enneagram 3. I would go as far as to say if you are an extrovert, you are not an Enneagram 5. So that adds a bunch to the list, especially SE being real active in the world. I think most 5s are probably TE polar or SE polar. And, I would say SE and FE definitely, they don't go. The Enneagram 5s, when I think of them, I think INTJs that don't even have FE in the top half of their stack, or INTPs with FE at the bottom, or in some cases an ISTP also with FE at the bottom of their stack. Both these are extroverted, SE with objects, FE with people. 5's all about depth and singularity, avarice, selfishness, the opposite of any kind of abundance, whether it's people or things. Next, and this is maybe a hot take, I would say FI. FI is introverted. Why FI? The reason why FI is because Enneagram 5s care about knowledge. They're detached from specific and personal desires and wants. Ask a lead, an Enneagram 5. Ask them what their favorite color is. They'll just look at you weird, like, I don't know. Why would I even have a favorite color? I just put on what's next in line, whatever's clean and not dirty. They don't have FI. They're almost FI blind. Now, that doesn't mean Enneagram 5s are necessarily ESTPs or ENTPs with, polar FI, but low FI, nonetheless. So SE, FE, FI, and really all extroverted types don't go with Enneagram 5. Okay, Enneagram 6. Now, this is a hard one. Enneagram 6 is kind of like the jack of all trades. They're concerned, though, mostly with belonging to something greater than themselves, something that they can be loyal to. And when their trust is betrayed, that turns to anti-loyalty, not just the counter type. They're fearful, but they can feel the fear and do it anyway. I would say the types that go least with 6, I think, are SE, because SE's more spontaneous. SE's not going to overthink anything. SE likes to just get out there and do it, and thought comes secondary. And remember, Enneagram 6s are like the overthinkers of the Enneagram. They can think themselves into oblivion before they take action. I would also say FI for that very same reason. People with high FI know what they want. They know what they think's good. They know what they think's bad. They know who they like, who they hate, who they're lukewarm about, which is rarely anyone. But 6 overthinks it too much. They can see the gray areas and everything. So You're probably, if you're an FI lead, you're probably not a 6. You're more decisive than that. You're probably not an SE lead either, because you're a doer instead of a thinker. And last but not least, I would say NE. NE sees all the possibilities, but 6 sees them in a negative way. So when you think of a 6 in NE, you're not thinking lead NE, you're thinking inferior NE, like an ISFJ or an ISTJ. So those are the 3 non-correlations for 6 that I see: FI, SE, and NE. Next, Enneagram 7. Here I have the same 3 types that I had for Enneagram 3. That's NI, TI, and SI. If you're one of these, you're not an Enneagram 7. Why SI? SI stands for everything against 7. SI wants routine. 7 wants freshness and newness. SI wants structure and organization. Enneagram 7 wants variety and fun. SI is about being responsible. Again, Enneagram 7s just want to have a good time. I would extend that to say NI. Some people think that you can be an INFJ 7 or an INTJ 7. No, you can't. All right. It just doesn't work that way. NI is about depth and reflection. They're more likely to downsize their closet instead of add more things to the mix. They don't see bright and shiny objects as attractive. They want less is more. So you're not going to be SI or NI. And last but not least, you're not going to be TI either, because TI is too socially and personally detached to be a fun-seeking, spontaneous Enneagram 7 who just wants a good time. So 7s and 3s on my list go together. No NI, no TI, no SI for these types. Okay. Next, Enneagram 8s. This is the type that motivated me to do this video, seeing NI types claim Enneagram 8. If you are an NI lead, INFJ or INTJ, you are not an Enneagram 8. Okay, sorry, you're just not. 8 is the epitome of the body type, the impulse-driven, lustful need for action, intensity here and now, and as much as it can get. NI is as opposite from that as you can go. Okay, so I don't know how you can reconcile being an NI lead and an Enneagram 8. Your logic just belongs with people who think 2 + 2 = 5. Maybe in the MCU multiverse you can find an example of one, but in real life, back down here on Earth, there are no NI leads who are truly Enneagram 8s. Okay, there are too many contradictions here, and this is the centerpiece of my whole video today that kicked it all off, was the amount of INFJs I see claiming themselves as Enneagram 8s. It's like, be an 8. Okay. Be another INFJ. Okay. But you cannot be both. Impossible. If you think it's okay, argue with me in the comments or something. I just say it's impossible. Next, I'll say NE also. You cannot be an 8 and be NE. If you think you are, you're probably some variety of Enneagram 4, maybe a sexual 4 or something. NE is about variety, fun, bouncy, light, emotional roller coasters. 8s are more grounded, heavy, intense in one direction. 8 can laser focus on one thing. NE is the exact opposite, spread around everywhere. You can't be NE and be an 8. I'm going to go ahead, even though ESTPs are oftentimes 8 and they have high TI, I'm going to say TI leads cannot be 8s. Okay. Why? Because 8s, again, like 4s, or, even like 3s or 1s, they are intense. They know what they want. They focus on it. TIs are more neutral. They see the gray area and everything. They're likely to see it from both sides instead of take one side and go all the way through with it. So I would say you can be a high TI user and still be an 8. ESTPs are proof of that, but you cannot be a lead TI user and be an 8. If you are, you're probably more likely, an intense variety of 5, or perhaps a sexual 6. I think you could be. I think you could even be a sexual 1 maybe, but I don't see a lead TI person being an 8. I really don't see him being a 1 either, to be honest. Okay, so NI, NE, and TI, you're not an 8. Okay, last but not least, Enneagram 9, our kickback, chill types, among whom I count my youngest son. You're not SE, okay? So SE is all about doing, quick, here, now, action. The Enneagram 9 is about chill, kick back, relax, exact opposite of SE, okay? I would say even put above SE would be TE. No TE. TE and Enneagram 9 are like oil and water. They do not mix at all. Not at all. Those are the, like, when you think a function and an Enneagram number, which ones are the most furthest apart? I would say 9 and TE probably. Tell me if you can think of a better one. These two are very hardcore. If you're a TE, high TE user, especially if you're a lead TE user, it's impossible to be a 9, because there's nothing chill about TE. Kick back, relax, go slow, take it easy. TE doesn't work that way. Neither does SE. And last but not least, neither really does NE. NE's too active in the mind to be an Enneagram 9. Now, I know there's ENFPs out there who claim to be 9s. Maybe in some universe there's some very unique person who can make an argument for that. In general, though, NE's too bouncing around, wanting to experience ideas in the world. That's all too fast for the Enneagram 9 who wants to just chill and relax. So the 3 non-correlations with 9 would be SE, TE, and NE. Okay, I think I'm done for today. And one of these days I'm going to learn to make the tracker so you can jump straight to your part and not have to forward whine or listen to me go on and on about other stuff. More to come soon. That's all I got for today. Peace out.